Hi guys, this is a quick introduction to Premiere Pro. Like all Adobe software, we start with this start screen and that shows us all the most recent projects. You can open old projects and you can create new projects, and that's what I'm going to do. This little screen pops up and we can give our new project a name and choose a location where to save it. By default, Premiere will save your project in the Premiere Pro folder. There's a bunch of other stuff going on here that we don't need to get into right now. Let's just hit OK. Now we're in our new blank project. This is Premiere. There's quite a lot going on, but you'll get your head around this in no time, don't worry. So, first step, we obviously need to bring our footage into Premiere Pro. Easiest way is to click and drag our media. That's clips, audio files, images, anything we're going to use to create our project. We can drag it into the media bin. We can select our first clip and we'll just drag it straight onto the timeline. That will create a sequence. The sequence is going to be automatically based on the size and frame rate of your clip, which is handy. The timeline works like any other timeline. It's split in the center here between audio and video. On the top you've got tracks for video, that's V1, V2, V3, and down here we've got tracks for audio, A1, A2, A3. If you scroll or drag up, you can get a better view of the video thumbnail, and you can do the same with audio. You can see the audio waveform. You can see the actual peaks and troughs of the sound. Very helpful when you're trying to align audio, like you can actually align the sound with the video on top visually rather than just by ear. You can also zoom in and out of the timeline using this little slider down here, and you can also readjust the layout in whatever way you want just by dragging the boxes. Also you can move into different workspaces here on the top and shuffle things around based on what you're trying to do. So if I'm in an effects workspace, it brings up the effects panels on the left. If I'm moving into editing, I can get rid of those panels. So that's worth bearing in mind. So when you click and highlight your clip, you're able to switch between these tabs up here. The most useful of these is Effects Control. This is how you adjust effects. You can also adjust things like position, transparency, the scale of your clip. If it's an audio clip, you've obviously got different attributes. Let's add another clip to the timeline. Now you can move it around on the timeline, trim it. You can use the razor tools to make cuts like this. And just you can delete these the clip that you don't need. You can close up the space with a ripple delete. There are a few other tools here worth looking at, like the text tool, which works just how you would expect it to work. It creates a new layer on top of your video file, and you've got various options for changing the size, for changing the font, and for moving it around. Slowing down and speeding up the clip is something that people use a lot. To do this, you right click on your footage and you go to speed/duration. We've got our clip playing at 100%, which is normal speed. If you want to slow the clip down, we need a lower percentage. If we're wanting to speed it up, we need to raise it. So setting it to 200% will make it play twice as fast. Setting it to 50% will make it play twice as slow, for example. So after assembling our clips into an edit, one thing we might do is color correction. And this might be fixing the contrast of the image or tweaking how light or how dark the clip is. We just go here, we bring up Lumetri color. This gives you a whole host of different adjustments you can make. You'll find the simple color correction tools here, and making any adjustments, this is a good place to start. You can change the temperature of the clip, make it warmer or colder, change the tint, the contrast, and the best way to find out what all of these adjustments do is just to try them out for yourself. If you've got a lot of clips and you don't want to colour correct each clip individually, you can apply what's called an adjustment layer. Click this little icon here and we can create a new adjustment filter, and that will sit on top of the clips as a new layer. You can apply colour correction or effects to this filter rather than to the clips. Everything underneath this is going to be seen through the filter, like a pair of colour correction sunglasses. Let's take a look at effects. Just like After Effects, there's a lot of video effects here. There's all kinds of different effects that can blur or can pixelate, or I don't even know what all of these do, but I encourage you to try out them for yourself and figure out some of the kind of creative effects that you can add to your video. If we go to the Effects tab, we can see all the adjustments we can make. You can see that the basic colour correction we applied earlier also comes up as an effect here, and we can tweak and adjust all the settings. Just like in After Effects, you can keyframe stuff. You just hit the little stopwatch and we can add keyframes to animate the settings over time. So for example, saturation changes how vibrant the colours are. So I could start here with almost black and white, and then further along bring the saturation up, create another keyframe, and now it keyframes between these two settings over time. As well as video effects, we also have audio effects. So for example, if you've got a very noisy audio clip, we can add a denoise filter and bring down some of that background humming noise. You can turn the volume of the clip up and down, you can keyframe that, you can make the audio fade in and out. Now we've put together our little film, let's export the finished piece. This box pops up with all our export settings. H.264 is the usual format you want, and after that I usually pick a preset, which is a really easy way to get the best settings. I go for YouTube 1080p because most of my films are headed to YouTube eventually, and that preset is going to pick good settings and good compression for online video and just makes it really simple. Here it says output name. You can change the name and select where you want it to go. I'm going to save it to Documents and I'm going to export it. Cool, so hopefully that was useful. That was the basics of Premiere. Best thing to do is just have a play around and try it out for yourself. Just let me know if you get stuck on anything. You can always message me. Thanks for watching.